as we are hearing from the Secretary of State that the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv, they are in the process of drawing that down, trying to get Americans out of the country.
Yeah, a smaller footprint was what Sullivan had said. He also outlined a little further what Russian military action could look like against Ukraine. What details did we learn there?
That's right. And he did give some vivid details around this. I want to read from a quote. He said, "It is likely to begin with aerial bombing and missile attacks that could obviously kill civilians without regard to their nationality if a Russian attack were to occur." So that kind of gives you a sense of why this warning is taking on such urgency right now. If this happens, it could happen so quickly that Americans could get caught in the crossfire. The White House obviously wants everyone to get out well in advance of when a decision is made. We know as well from the diplomatic efforts that have been underway, the White House still hoping for some sort of diplomatic path forward. We've seen all the European leaders of NATO countries going back and forth to try to negotiate with Putin himself. We saw that from the French president earlier this week. But at this point, it is reaching a new sense of direness when you're listening to what's coming out of the administration on this front. And really, now it's just anyone's guess what could happen next. I do want to note, it's interesting in listening to some of the interviews on the ground coming out of Kyiv from Ukrainian residents. They don't seem to have at this point that same sense of panic that something is imminent. Although, you know, when you hear the messaging from the White House and from the president, it is taking on a whole new level of immediacy.
Yeah, it's not the first time they've dealt with Russia. They're right there on the border. It's front and center for them. So perhaps they're keeping calm to carry on. But the secretary did mention, he said, not just days, he said it could even be hours. And I'm curious, the message seems to be for Americans overseas in Ukraine to get out now. What idea do we have if they're proceeding in that manner?